Hello students, welcome to biology class. So today we're going to discuss about biogeochemical cycle. The term biogeochemical cycle denotes bio, it means life, geo, it means geological components, and chemical, so where the elements which is responsible for this cycle to be continued. So in this cycle, we're going to study the two types of biogeochemical cycle. One is gaseous cycle and another one is sediment cycle. So these all we're going to discuss in this topic. Have you ever wondered why our atmosphere never runs out of oxygen? Well, that's because trees and plants produce oxygen, right? But what if I told you no new oxygen is ever produced? It is only recycled. In fact, our planet never produces any new elements. They all just move in a cyclic pattern called biogeochemical cycle. So let us learn more about them. Biogeochemical cycle mainly refers to the movement of nutrients and other elements between biotic and abiotic factor. The term biogeochemical is derived from bio meaning biosphere, geo meaning geological component, and chemical meaning the elements that move through a cycle. In other words, biogeochemical cycle is one of the several natural cycles in which conserved matter moves through the biotic and abiotic parts of an ecosystem. In biology, conserved matter refers to the finite amount of matter in the form of atom that is present within the earth. Since according to the law of conservation of mass, matter cannot be created or destroyed, all atoms of matter are cycled through the earth system habit in various forms. In other words, the earth only receives energy from the sun, which is given off as heat, whilst all other chemical elements remain within a closed system. During these interactions, there is a transfer of nutrients between living organism and the non-living environment. That is, it includes the biotic and abiotic factors. Now we're going to learn about the importance. Biogeochemical cycles are important because they regulate the elements necessary for life on earth by cycling them through the biological and physical aspect of the world. Biogeochemical cycle are a form of natural recycling that allows the continuous survival of ecosystem. Types of biogeochemical cycle. So based on the types, it is divided into two. They are gaseous cycle and another one is sedimentary cycle. So gaseous cycle includes carbon, oxygen, nitrogen and water cycle. Sedimentary cycle includes sulfur, phosphorus, rock cycle, etc. The simplest example of biogeochemical cycle at work includes water. Water evaporates from the ocean, condenses as cloud and precipitates as rain, so which return the water back to the earth in a cycle. So this will be one of the best examples for biogeochemical cycle, so where we are going to study in detail. The main chemical elements that are cycled are carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus and sulfur. So these are the building blocks of life and are used for essential processes such as metabolism, the formation of amino acid, cell respiration and the building of tissues. So these fundamental elements can be easily remembered with the acronym CHNOPS. I repeat, CHNOPS. Carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus and sulfur. Each of these elements is circulated through the biotic component, which are the living parts of the ecosystem, and the biotic, that is abiotic component, which are the non-living parts. So the biotic components can be divided into flora and fauna, whereas abiotic components can be subdivided into three categories. So they are the hydrosphere, atmosphere and lithosphere. So the abiotic components can be subdivided into hydrosphere, atmosphere and lithosphere. Actually, this forms the biosphere. What is this biosphere? It is a term which can be used to describe the system that contain all living organisms, including plants, animals and bacteria, as well as their interaction between each other and their interaction with the earth abiotic system. The biosphere is sometimes called the ecosphere and can be defined as sum of all ecosystem. So in this diagram, you can study about the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere, all the three which have biosphere, which have the conclusion about the biosphere where the life begins. With this knowledge, the word biogeochemical cycle can be easily broken down. That is, bio, it is a biotic system, geo, it is a geological component, and chemical, it is the element which are moved through a cycle. So this is about biogeochemical cycle. Now we're going to discuss about gaseous cycle, that is carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, and water cycle in detail. The carbon cycle has a main component of biological compounds. Carbon can be found in all living things, as well as many non-living things such as mineral, atmosphere, and the ocean. Although carbon is an essential component for life, it is only due to a specific balance of atmospheric components and condition that life, as we know it, is able to exist. Therefore, it is important that a balance between the amount of carbon stored in sink and the amount that is emitted from various sources is maintained. Although all biogeochemical cycles of carbons are linked, it is simpler to visualize them using two systems. Carbon is also present in air as carbon dioxide and in ocean as carbonate and bicarbonate that also dissolve to generate carbon dioxide. Carbon is also present in soil as fossil fuel. The primary source of removal of carbon from the atmosphere is when carbon dioxide is absorbed by plants during photosynthesis. The restock is done through respiration, combustion of fossil fuel, decomposition, and chemical reaction that given out carbon dioxide. Carbon is an essential part of nutrients like carbohydrate, fats, protein, nucleic acid, and vitamin. Carbon cycle maintains the amount of carbon in the atmosphere. The carbon cycle starts in plant. Step 1. Plant use carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, convert into glucose in the presence of sunlight by the process of photosynthesis. Plants and animals break these carbohydrates for energy and release carbon dioxide through respiration. Step 2. When the plants and animals die, fungi and bacteria decomposes the dead remain. So these releases the carbon in the remain as carbon dioxide. Step 3. Some plants and animals which get buried in the soil under certain temperature and pressure over millions of years get transformed into fossil fuel. Coal and petroleum are some of the fossil fuel. On burning these fuel, carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere. So in this picture, you can study about the carbon cycle in detail. So here, the plants which takes up the photosynthesis process in the sunlight, and organic carbon is released. So these are transferred into dead organism and waste product. Again, the animal respiration, plant respiration is also emits the carbon out, and auto and factory emission is also it releases the carbon dioxide. So this will be the flow of carbon cycle. Next we move on to another natural cycle, that is water cycle. It is also called as hydrologic cycle, where hydro refers to water. The cycle that involves the continuous circulation of water in the earth to the atmosphere system. Of the many processes involved in the water cycle are, the most important one is evaporation, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, and runoff. The water cycle involves various steps like evaporation, transpiration, condensation, and precipitation. So please make a note of this. When the water bodies are heated during this day, water enters the atmosphere as water vapor by the process of evaporation. There is another way in which water evaporates into the atmosphere. This happens through transpiration. The water vapor in the atmosphere changes to water droplet and collected to form clouds. So this process is called condensation. Air current move the clouds formed by condensation and carry them over the land where they break into the rain, snow, or fog. So this is called precipitation. So this water cycle includes evaporation, transpiration, condensation, and precipitation. So in this cycle, you can study about the plants uptake the water. By the process of evaporation, it leads to the condensation, and condensation leads to the precipitation. Again, the water comes back to the earth. So this will be the cycle of hydrological cycle, where there will be the recycling process of water taken place. Next, we are going to proceed nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle has three major steps in which the atmospheric nitrogen first get converted to ammonia, which in turn gets oxidized to nitrate, and finally it gets reduced to the atmospheric nitrogen. So this will completing the nitrogen cycle. The nitrogen cycle is arguably the second most important cycle, after the carbon cycle, to living organism. Nitrogen is essential to plant growth and therefore is a significant contributor to the human food chain. Now we are going to study about the nitrogen cycle. The sequence in which nitrogen passes from the atmosphere to the soil and organism and then is eventually released back into the atmosphere. This is called nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen makes up 78% of Earth's atmosphere. The percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere is maintained by nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen is an essential constituent of protein, nucleic acids like DNA and RNA, vitamins and chlorophyll. I repeat, it is the essential constituent where it requires the protein, nucleic acids, vitamins and chlorophyll. Plants and animals cannot utilize atmospheric nitrogen readily. It has to be fixed by some organism called nitrogen fixer. Now we are going to study about the nitrogen fixer, that is the nitrogen fixing bacteria called rhizobium. So please make note of this. This is very important, 1 mark. Nitrogen fixing bacteria called rhizobium. It lives in symbiotic association in the root nodules of certain leguminous plant. These bacteria convert atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia, which is utilized readily by plants. Nitrogen fixing bacteria along with free living bacteria on the soil achieve 90% of nitrogen fixation. And another one more fact, lightning, it plays an important role in nitrogen fixation. When lightning occurs, the higher temperature and pressure converts nitrogen and water into nitrate and nitrites. So what is the role of lightning? So lightning plays a major role in conversion of nitrogen and water into nitrates and nitrite. Nitrates and nitrites dissolve in water and are readily used by aquatic plant and animal. Ammonification is the process by which soil bacteria decomposes dead organic matter and release ammonia into the soil. Nitrification is the process by which ammonia is converted into nitrate and nitrates. Denitrification is the process by which nitrates are converted into atmospheric nitrogen. So this way the nitrogen cycle continues. So here you can study ammonia to nitrite, nitrate to nitrate, nitrate to the atmospheric nitrogen. So please pause this video and have a look about this nitrogen cycle. So there it indicates the Haber process and lightning process in the cycle also. So please have a look. Next we move on to sediment cycle. It is one of the type of biogeochemical cycle. So here we are going to study one of the type is phosphorus cycle. Phosphorus moves in a cycle in our atmosphere via rock, sediment, soil, water and living organism. Over a long period of time, weathering of rocks lead to phosphate ion and minerals being released into the soil and water. This is absorbed by living organisms who need phosphorus to build nucleic acids such as DNA. Then, when these living organisms die, phosphates are released back into the soil. So this is about phosphorus cycle. There are still various other biogeochemical cycles such as water, rock, sulfur, etc. The importance of these cycles is that they essentially support all life on the planet, because without these cycles, living organisms would not get all the elements they need to survive. Students, in this session we studied about gaseous cycle. They are water cycle, carbon cycle and nitrogen cycle. So where the interaction between the biotic and abiotic components in the ecosystem we studied in detail.